There we go. There we go. All right. This is Tuesday mid-morning afternoon. The plan to record last night didn't come to fruition. We're a little bit sad boys, a little bit
drunk boys
for sure. Yeah. I went and saw my mom this morning. She's like, "How you feeling?" I was like, "She's like, you guys are pretty full last night." I was like, yeah, we're pretty full. We're to the top, but
Very.
How are you feeling this morning? Like, not physically. Okay, we just dropped a bar of batteries. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But how are you feeling this morning physically, which we already kind of talked about, but then also just like
Spiritually,
yes, exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
I think I'm feeling better than I was last night. I think the liquor magnifies emotion. So I think I was feeling a little negative last night about not necessarily about the performance, just obviously the loss. Yeah. I think that's not easy to drop game one, but they dropped game one in 2017 and came back to win the series. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not super concerned about the series or anything like that now. I think they had moments of kind of control and where they showed what they were doing at the end of the year. But yeah, I'm feeling okay. Feeling okay. Not as negative as last night. Mm-hmm. Rewatched the first period today. And
I think even last night for me, I was not even that negative. Like, I was still pretty fired up, and I think that might have been side effect of just like what an awesome night, like just to feel that electricity again and to not have it be. I think LA played very well. Oilers had more to give, and I think what we were disconnecting on last night was, I kept saying like, "Oh, I thought we outplayed them," and that wasn't what it was. You're right. Like, they outplayed us for sure, but I didn't think they were a better team. Like, even with them playing really well, quick out of his mind, like they're really gelling, and us kind of starting really jittery, kind of taking some time to lock in. There was some definite periods of the game where we weren't at our best. I still thought it was quite noticeable that we were a better squad out there, and that was making me,
I think so too.
And that was making me a little bit more positive on it. But I think there's definitely the first 10 minutes was jittery as all hell.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple bad plays with Puljujarvi on that top line before they sent him down and kind of restructured.
Well, I was looking, I think he played 8 minutes last night, so that's way down for Puljujarvi. Like, way down. Guys like Fogle, and then played more than Cassian did. So not Cassian, Puljujarvi, sorry.
Yeah. So, okay, maybe before we jump into the game, let's just tell a story of yesterday. So I was rolling in from Slave Lake. You had a great idea to do a little bit of golf, so we roll into Edmonton. I went for a quick run because it was so rainy in Slave Lake that the dog didn't really get any runs in, so took her for a quick run. Rolled out, got my first round of the year. Did a quick 9. Chase just shot a quick 1 under, not a big deal. Nick got his fucking first birdie of the last 3 years.
Told you I was striping it around.
You were. Those new clubs are pure.
Yeah.
So quick 9, that was positive. Again, starting the day off, it was great. Lots of good juju, like nice on the course. We flew. What did we do that 9 holes in an hour 10?
Hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, like nice. We cruise through, which is how we like to golf. Just steady, bing bang boom. Let's get this in. Let's get this out. Awesome, good juju. Ripped to my place, threw my gear on, got my big Oilers medallion. Ripped back to your place. You went jersey, poncho, medallion.
Yes,
great look. People were. It
was a good look. Yeah,
people were loving it. Got lots of comments on it. And then we got your girlfriend to drive us to Rogers Place. Went to, what is that? Did that square have a name?
I don't know. It's just Ice District Square or something. Maybe I don't know exactly. It's kind of right in the heart Ice District.
Yeah, and we didn't really know what was going on. But doors opened at 6:30. We probably got there at like 6ish, maybe just slightly before. Grabbed a couple beers, walked around, and just kind of took in the atmosphere. Didn't really, do much. Just watched a little bit of music. Yeah. The Arkells are playing. They were kind of brutal. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, their cover of that Smash Mouth song was a
little rough.
Yeah.
And I think it was just like what I was telling you is I think they're, probably such a big band that they're used to people being excited for them, and like probably haven't played a show like that where people do not they're not there for them. Like nobody's really paying attention. Probably haven't done that in a while, and they looked really awkward because of it, right? Like,
let's get the energy up for the Oilers. Yeah. Like, no, you want the energy up for you guys.
Yeah.
This is not a good show.
But even still, we were just,
the atmosphere there was really good. Yeah. I think everyone was, you could almost feel it there. It was all, there was a lot of energy. It was, like you said, it was electric. People were standing as soon as the opening, like, kind of montage video started, standing. So the whole intro standing. They didn't have to tell anybody to stand for the anthems. Everyone was already up.
Yeah.
But I would say it was almost like a weird, almost like half nervous energy.
Yeah.
Like even in that little square, like people, there was energy, but it seemed like, I don't know, there was just a weird feel to the energy. Like it was a little nervous. And I think that transitioned over to the players, obviously in the first half of the first period there. And I think in the third, you could tell they were, it was tied for most of the third, but even,
hi buddy,
even after the Kings scored to go up, it was just, guys were nervous.
Yeah, big time nervous. And like the start of the game is definitely where you saw it the most. And I think it did come back in a little bit. I think the third, like the on-ice play reflected a little bit closer to the start of it, but it almost didn't feel like it was, it was like a different kind of nervous. It was almost like both feelings resulted them trying to do too much. And that's what was coming across. But I think at the start, it was like, we're doing too much because we're kind of nervous and jittery. And at the end, they're just like, fuck, we need this. Like there's so much energy in here. We need to match what's going on. I didn't think they played all that bad in the third. Yeah, no, they kind of were having a bit of a tough skull.
I thought they got dominated in the third. We'll get to that. Yeah. I did not like the feeling in the third at all. I thought LA was kind of all over them. They, like where our seats were kind of right behind Quick there. We
didn't see
maybe
much
saw 4 or 5 minutes of action. Like we were watching the far end of the ice. It seemed all period. So
because outside good energy, but we wanted to get in the barn. So as soon as doors opened at 6:30, we flew in. Did a couple laps, got a giant double Caesar in one of those like Oilers commemorative mugs. Did we bring those home last night?
I hope they're not in Steve's vehicle.
Oh, they might be in the back.
I think they are.
Anyway, well, hey, that's a donation to the cause. That's how we got home.
Yeah. Hey, we'll get another. I'm sure.
We'll get another. Yeah. So, and just we're walking around the barn and we just see this one bartender just like locked eyes with her, and it was like, okay, I got a good feeling because it's a good juju all day. We walk up, just found like the biggest beauty in there. She was, mixing us drinks.
Just come back off a big heater from Vegas. Apparently, came back with a few G's in her pocket. Blackjack queen, I guess. So she had good vibes.
Yeah, and she was just saying she's on this huge heater in Vegas, and then rolled it right into Oilers playoff hockey, which is really what you want to do. She could have stayed there and gambled a bit more, but she knew she had to bring that luck to Edmonton. Didn't quite get us across the finish line, but I like the spirit of it. That was great. She said she's been working there since Rexall.
Yeah, so hopefully see a bit more. What was her name? Holly?
You're asking the wrong guy, and you know this. She could have been.
Anyway, shout out Holly. I'm going to go with that.
It was Holly for sure. It was Holly. Yeah. Now you say that.
Go to the bar behind section 113 and ask for Holly. You'll get the best service in Rogers.
And so like, all night we were going back to her, and a couple times, like picked a line. There might have been like one shorter, but she was flying people through. She probably saw us.
She would even see us from like a couple deep in the line and like have our drinks ready to go. Like she was unbelievable service from. She
was crushing it all night. So we did a couple laps because they had kind of the seats curtained off at the very start, and it was another big moment that Chase got his season seats, and this was going to be our first time getting down into the bowl, like seeing what the view is going to be. Like that was a big moment. Like we were walking down.
I think it was a big moment for the seat too, to like see
these asses.
To get my ass in it and welcome my cheeks to welcome my cheeks to the barn.
Start the process of just forming that ass wrinkle for us. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Couldn't agree more. Got to meet our seat neighbors. That was good. But I just remember that a moment that stuck out to me last night. We were walking down like the little tunnel towards where the seat goes down, and I was just like pumped. I just,
felt like the player coming in. Felt like they were opening the oil drop door and we're walking up.
Yeah, and I think I stopped. I was like, dude, this is huge. We're about to see the seats for the first time. So energy was high. Went, sat in the seats, got our pom poms. I think my pom pom lasted 10 minutes in the first. I was swinging that thing so hard, it just disintegrated. That chick in front of us had so much of my pom pom in her hair throughout the game. The kid beside me was just laughing. Oh my god!
Too bad you didn't have those extra ties in your pocket.
Hey, I usually have a couple zap straps. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So checked out the seats, did a couple more laps, grabbed a couple more drinks, was really taking the energy, saw a couple people, and just I was vibrating. Like,
okay, here doors open an hour and a half early. Yeah. Here's what I was thinking. I don't want to model. This is the only thing in the Oilers franchise, Oilers group, I want to model anything after the Calgary Flames. But when you open the doors that early, lots of people are in there. Lots of people want to get an hour and a half early. How unbelievable would it be to have a Rogers Place happy hour? Yeah. I've heard at the Saddle Dome, from doors to puck drop is happy hour or what. So it's, I don't know how cheap the beers are, but you get a discounted on beers, gets people in the barn, gets people maybe a little bit more tipsy before the start of the game than they normally would be. I think that would be unbelievable idea. So if anybody's listening, give Holly a raise. Let's start happy hour.
Exactly. And like, come on, guys. It's going to be what? Like, you're going to go from a $15 beer to a $13. Like, you're still going to make some cash. Easy on it. Yeah. So we go, get sat down nice and early, watch the full warm-ups. You made a couple big calls in the warm-ups that, kind of sucked for us. You definitely called Trevor Moore to be a tough, and Dursey. Yeah. To both be tough guys to play against that were kind of on your radar that you were worried about. And boy, did that Trevor Moore one come true. He single-handedly won the game almost last night.
He was probably the best player on the ice. Wow.
I think so.
Okay, McDavid, but honestly, I think that Moore had more of an impact on the game than McDavid did. Yeah. He hammered. He had a huge hit on Kulak against the bench. I think he had 3 points. He had 2 assists.
He had that first goal, and then that beautiful behind the back pass for the second one.
He kills penalties. Like he is. He, like the guy said last night behind us, he is a problem.
He is. Oh yeah, the guys behind us. That Trevor Moore's going to be a problem.
They said that like 30 seconds before he scored. Too. I know. And I was like, because I was kind of talking, and he had that rush. He kind of got it in the corner in front of us there and skated up the entire ice himself. Started that play, got it in the zone, and then that kind of his rush up the ice led to his goal. So that was the best line I would say last night. Him, Danault, Iafallo. Yeah. They were unbelievable last night. They're not flashy. They're not super like blow your doors off, but they're all solid. And I hated that. I hated watching that line last night. And then they match up against, normally I think Danault was up against Draisaitl last night. So he had a bit of a tough match. I think Danault and that line were incredible last night.
Yeah. And again, like, I don't think the Oilers played all that, like, other than a couple times, like the third and that start of that first period, like they were, making high impact, the power play clicked a little bit, like that. Duncan Keith had a hell of a game. This is what I want to say. I mean, we're jumping ahead. We'll get back to kind of the pregame stuff, but for how jittery they were, that was nice to have a guy like Keith that he didn't look jittery. Like the whole team was jittery, but he was pretty solid. Like he was making good plays and kind of what we expected out of him.
Yeah.
All year.
I think honestly, I think Keith was their best defenseman last night. Yeah. I think he had a really solid outing. I think he made that really good slap pass to Yams on the second power play goal there, kind of off the draw. Just, instead of setting it up, I think the penalty killers were kind of almost expecting a setup. They dropped back. They gave him a room to step in, and he took it and found Yamo's tape. So that was a super good play.
Yeah.
I thought he was solid. He was a kind of a shining star on the back end.
For sure he was. That's a great way to put it, shining star. So we'll get into the play-by-play, what we were thinking in that. What did you think of the pregame pump-ups? Because you called, they used the regular season video package montage before the warm-ups.
Pregame warm-up,
And then they had a new one.
Joker and the Thief was the song. Yeah. And then they've been coming out to Enter Sandman all year though. So I would have liked to see maybe a little bit of a mix up there. It's not bring the rig back also.
Oh, the oil derrick. Like, you gotta have it. There's nothing better than that. And imagine what electric factory that would have been if they would have brought that back. I mean, I think the roof might have ripped off.
I think the cat would have been out of the bag though. Someone would have seen them moving that big old unit inside Rogers somehow. Okay, like, would they have to build it in Rogers? Because there's no way they could get it in without building it in there. Right?
We always get it in, Chase. You know this.
Get the big rig in.
I think either way, I think they probably have some, because they do concerts and shit, I'm sure they have some huge bay doors underneath that like can get big things into the building, but also I think it'd be a piece of piss to build that in the building.
Yeah.
Throw a goddamn tarp over, no one will see it. Come on. Come on.
Just hauling McDavid's dick in the building.
Honestly, I don't even care if people do see it, if the cat's out of the bag. Get the people excited. Drop a little social media, moving something big under a big tarp kind of picture on the Oilers page. I don't care. Get the people going.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Unreal.
Should happen.
So nice nice pregame. Like you said, everyone was standing for the anthems. Didn't have to ask. Everyone was electric, which was so much fun. As
Robert
fans
Clark
to
was
see.
in the crowd wearing a jersey.
Yeah.
We had a little bet going on before. I said, what color suit is Robert Clark going to wear?
Yeah.
And he won up to all of our guesses and wore a jersey in the crowd. So that was pretty cool.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Didn't sang maybe the first line of O Canada and just let the crowd buck after that.
Yeah.
I went into the night thinking my voice is so fucked I can't yell. That went out the window real quick. Yelling, screaming, singing. Yeah, no, it was a good time. And then that was the double-edged sword though. It was so electric in there that coming out it was Jitter City. Those first couple shifts were
the 10 seconds into the game, I kind of watched it was Nurse and Cece somehow both ended up on the same side of the ice. All three forwards was on the same side of the ice. LA makes a little pass across, and Edler has fucking ages to just walk in over the blue line. Kind of I would say he got to top of the circle, maybe a little in. Really good quality chance, like 5 seconds in, because why? Like you all just want to go over there and make a hit, or like it seemed like they all just wanted to do a little bit too much early on, and they wanted to, but I think what's made them so successful the last month is that they haven't been doing too much. Although they maybe outskill some teams, and they've kind of just been making the simple plays, staying within Woody's system. And that first 10 minutes, that was out the window. Yamo took a sort of an undisciplined little wrestle penalty in there. I think that was a bad look on Yamo. Well, not a bad look, but bad penalty to take that early just to. Yeah. And it wasn't even, the guy didn't have the puck. It wasn't a scoring chance. He just,
he's trying so hard to not get out battled that he kind of, just with his size,
wrapped his arm around his head and took him down. So that was
slammed him on the ice, which is, at first I was like, you know what, K set the tone, like you're not to be fucked with, but tough penalty, especially when they get 5 shots on it and you're staring up at a 7-0 shot differential a couple minutes into the game. And I have to stop right there and say, Mike Smith played really well. Other than the third period, we'll get there. That was kind of the one thing, but I think that kind of unfortunately overshadows a really good game he had. And also the other thing is Quick was dynamite on the other end of the ice, kind of makes it a little bit tougher, right? Like he got scored on that tip.
Yeah.
The McDavid goal maybe he should have had, and I think Mike Smith was good.
Yeah.
I want to tap into something you said there, and I wanted to kind of throw this by you. You're talking like they kind of been playing simple all year, and they kind of got out of this habit because they were, for so long, I'd say for the last couple years, were kind of always one too many passes. And then something clicked about the time that Kane came in where they were starting to really bing bang them, right? Like those one pass shot, one time in it, really clicking, moving the puck, kind of maybe even into last year when Draisaitl really started to get his one-timer going. It sped us up. But with Quick, he's so good and comes out of the net so far that it seemed like a bunch of times last night, that instinct that they've been fighting so hard to create of just quick passes, not one too many. There's a couple times where they could have used that extra pass and he would have been so far out of the net.
I think I talked about this in our playoff preview pod where I thought, where I probably made I might be in my words where I said his style of goaltending, he might be getting a little too old.
Yeah.
But
didn't look like it last night.
He looked fucking fresh last night. And I think what you're saying is it might, sometimes I think with Quick and goalies that come so far out of the net like that, it doesn't even really have to be a direct pass to a player. It might just have to be a soft little pass kind of in that direction, kind of behind him, or like, cause he cheats. So on that Kane 2-on-1, one-timer, he was out, like he was almost in Kane's lap to make that save.
Yeah.
And I think he's so good at reading and anticipating the play. He's athletic. He can get in those spots. But if Kane even just would have did a little one touch back to the middle of the ice on the 2-on-1, McDavid, Quick is then scrambling, having to get back.
Even if it's not a pass, it just creates chaos where now he's got to get back in the net. Similar to that unfortunate fourth goal for LA where, Mike Smith made that bad play. It's not like he made an amazing recovery, except once he did, everybody was out of place. There was 4 guys within 5 feet of the net.
It's fucking chaos.
And you see what happens from it. And I think we needed to create a little bit more, but that's so tough to ask of them because they've worked tirelessly to fight that instinct of just one more pass, because that was probably 2 or 3 years of that all the time. We were saying that, too many passes, shoot that fucking puck.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it, and it's like, okay, now we could probably use a little bit more of that old style Oilers juicy tic-tac-toe type shit. But that's the adjustments you got to make if you're going to win the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they've got to find a way to solve quick. I think that goes without saying. He looked really good last night. Yeah, I think I wouldn't say quick won them the game. I think Smitty maybe would have liked that third one back. That was Darnell Nurse. Now that I'm on the topic, I think Darnell Nurse had a bit of a rough game, and I don't think it was anything to do with his injury. I'm not going to use that as an excuse for him, because I think most of his woes last night were mental, like positional. He's running around the Trevor Moore goal.
Yeah.
I watched again this morning. Nurse was kind of chicken with his head cut off for about 10 seconds leading up. It kind of he couldn't find anyone to cover. He kind of was in no man's land, and pretty soon Moore is in behind him, and Deneau makes a good pass out front, and it's in.
Right.
So that first 5 seconds, Nurse is on the wrong side of the ice. The third goal, Nurse was half trying to block the shot, half almost running into Mike Smith, and you could see Smith was almost expecting impact, but I don't know. I think those two would have liked that goal back. So
for sure,
I think Nurse has to play within himself a little bit more and just try and play a little smarter. But
it almost felt like he was thinking about the price tag on his head when he was out there. I have to play like a $9 million. Just wasn't playing his hit. Yeah, it seemed like there was so much on him, like kind of what we were talking about of that jitters in the first couple minutes. It felt like he kind of played like that all game. And it's tough because we get it, like he has probably more pressure on him than most of the Oilers. Maybe McDavid's got a bit more, but he also has a completely different skill set to handle that pressure than Nurse does, right? Like McDavid trying to do more McDavid shit is always going to be some level of good.
Yeah.
Nurse trying to do too much is going to really look like it did last night.
It'll take him out of position. And he plays best when he plays sound and
exactly, and is having fun and not thinking about and like that's his game when he's laughing, when he's getting in scrums and laughing in guys' faces, and that's kind of the nurse you need, right? Like I think McDavid excels when he gets into that kind of beast mode where he's so locked in and driven like that, like and again that maybe is on Woodcroft too, is to recognize that and to pull what you need out of each player. So I don't know what we're going to see game 2.
I think game 2 they're going to come back. I think they'll now they know what to expect from the crowd.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to maybe they were surprised by how crazy it was. Like
maybe
it was
or not even surprised,
loud,
just like
man.
They haven't felt it in so long.
Yeah, that they were so amped up.
Yeah.
I think it helped Cassian's game a little bit.
That was the best game he's had in a while.
He was noticeable. He had a couple
that
real
one
big
change
hits.
in the playoffs where you get almost like a half another third of a second on hits in the playoffs where everyone's finishing their check, so it doesn't look so out of place when like you really throw that. And he's such a wrecking ball that when he has that freedom, he can really get flying.
Fogel was running around a little bit last night too. He had a few big hits
and that's the thing about Edmonton.
He's a big body too. I think he's bigger than Cassian. Like he's a big dude. So when him and Cassian are out there firing hits, it's
and I think that was so nice for the Oilers to see of like, at any point in the game, even when they would get into like kind of a rhythm where LA was walking a bit and getting lots of chances, lots of chemistry going, lots of shit pulling for their side of the rope, we'd throw a hit and that barn would erupt, and then it was kind of the energy shift. And I think that's another thing too of them kind of learn to play that crowd like a fiddle a little bit, where it's so new to them. But I think if they can extend the series out longer, they're going to learn how to play with that, and it's going to become something really special.
Yeah, I think, like you said, if this series extends, I think after last night, I think it's going to be a long one. I think it's going to go at least 6 or 7.
Yeah,
because it has to go at least 6 or 7 now, unless they sweep them 4-1. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be a long series. I think LA brought a bit more to the table than even I expected.
Yeah.
And I think the shitty thing for me is everything that I was maybe a little bit concerned about
really
reared its ugly head. I think Deneau and Kopitar were fucking solid. I think I think even strength, Deneau and Kopitar won the battle. I mean, McDavid had an unreal goal, even strength, but Deneau and Kopitar were solid.
They were.
And I said I was a little bit concerned about the goaltending. Not that Mike Smith played bad, but I think it was just that one error. I think everyone always concerned with him is we love when he plays the puck. We love when he comes out of the net. He's like a third D-man when he's on. But I think just like the rest of the team, that one specific play, he, again, just tried to do too much. I think that should have been a high rim off the glass. He didn't have much, and instead he kind of turns and takes a big chance to fire it up the middle of the ice, and it gets knocked down, and then obviously you saw what that led to. So
and like really nice recovery, big save, but yeah, like we said, there was I think 4 guys right around him after that when that puck goes out to the high slot, and I think 3, if not 4, of their goals were exactly I've been banging the drum about all year long, coming from low to high, bing bang, and nobody's looking. Everyone's stuck watching the puck, and by the time the shot's happening, everyone's just turning to see it. There's no coverage. There's nothing happening.
Yeah, and that was Nurse on the first goal. He was back.
That's been Nurse for 3 years.
They made 3 different passes, and every pass Nurse had his back to the play. Like he wasn't anticipating. I'm gonna quit harping on Nurse. He's our best D-man. We need him. He's gonna play big minutes. I know he is, and he's gonna turn it around. I know, but I don't know. I
hadn't played in a while yet, like that.
For sure, yeah.
Those types of things are things that come with comfortability and getting those reps in, and that was his first game to get back into it. Hopefully, gets a lot of practice time, gets to settle in, gets to feel that crowd again, and he can play like we know he can. But I think that's not only was it the things that we worried about on LA really rearing their head, but also the things we worry about with Edmonton a little bit at times of like But what I did like was at no point was there any quitting. Like you.
Oh no, definitely not.
They were, and I think with the crowd going like
it was almost too much the other way. They're trying too hard. Because there's a line where effort and persistence and that turns into like when you just try too hard to will something into happening, you can almost get in your own way a little bit. And
unless you're McDavid, and then it just
I think that's what happened a little bit in the third, especially that last 5 minutes. You could tell they all just felt. Fuck, we can't drop this first game, and they gripping their sticks a little tighter. And Jesus,
hi, Big Poppy. Hello. You want to be on the podcast? Yes, you do. Oh my goodness. Go see your dad.
Come here, Remy. Come here.
But I'm having fun. But I'm in the business. No, you can't sit on my lap this time. But I know I'll give you lots of snugs after. You just gotta get off. Okay. So jittery start, 7-0 shots, kind of bad penalty. Anthony Siu had that really kind of open break. Edler had a big open break. Mike Smith kind of held us in it. McLeod had a really nice chance kind of on the break in, tried to make a move backhand. Just quick was there the whole way. Then those, I think it was Iafallo to Moore kind of poking, right? Low to high, bing bang in the net. Then that beautiful behind the back pass to Iafallo, who just fires a clapper from like 6 feet out and like right almost into like the center of mass on Smith. And just happened to have it clip off because it was such a quick play. Nobody was ready. Smith wasn't even coming over. That was a tough look. Then McDavid just takes it in his own hands at the end of the period, walks, I think, from his own end.
What was the second LA goal?
That behind the Moore was coming around the net on the left, behind the back pass to Iafallo, and he just clap bombed from 6 feet out. And then that was before Connor got that. So that real nice goal.
It got down to 2-0 with 3 minutes to go in the first, and I said, "Fuck, it'd be nice to get one." Like, don't let the crowd go into the intermission not having cheered for a goal. Like, get a little bit of energy back in. And I think there was only about a minute left when he scored that goal.
But before that was they're breaking out McDavid, beautiful strip feed to Kane. Like, comes up, lifts the stick, pulls it around, sends it over. And like you said, Quick was so far out of his net to come out and challenge Kane there. There was a bit, like he had the right instinct. He got to shoot the puck, but man, like, even if he would have just popped that one back over, but that kind of got everyone buzzing. McDavid, like, hey, I'm feeling it. I'm going to make a move. And for him just to put it in his own, just put the puck in his back pocket and go for a skate like that, fire the puck. We haven't seen him cut to the middle. Like there was a couple months ago, I think, where he was scoring like that almost every second game, kind of that big rush, cut to the middle, take the shot, use a D-man as a screen and use his nice little quick release on his.
I watched that again this morning, and in the camera shot in that goal, you could see Quick, obviously, McDavid, and all 5 Kings were in the camera shot, like around him, and not another Oiler. Like that was a wild goal. He was just surrounded. The 2 Kings kind of bumped into each other and fumbled and bumbled, and then he was able to cut in. I think because the back checker was bumped away there by that D-man. So that was a cool goal, a good goal.
Such a nice goal.
Needed it,
and was so electric for the building too. Like not only did we need a goal, but for it to be a McDavid goal like that, like one of his spectacular moves, that
kind
is
of signature, and
that would have been electric even regular season. The fact that he's doing that in playoffs, it was huge to go into the intermission. So intermission was good. Barn was buzzing. Everyone was zooming. Everyone getting back to their seats early. We had to pull out the classic UK, you go get beers, UP switch, kind of thing. Got back in, came out. We got an early power play in the second, I believe.
Yeah, about 3 minutes in, that was the Yamamoto goal. Right.
And Draisaitl had a really nice chance on that before, where Quick kind of did that lunging, diving save that was beautiful. And again, kind of, that was another time where we need a goal, because like they were getting a lot of momentum off like Quick standing in there. There's momentum to power play, but there's also a lot of momentum to penalty kill if you do it good. And that's where, like you said, you already kind of broke it down beautifully, but Duncan Keith with the room, nobody kind of expects him to do it. Saw Yamamoto's stick was almost right there. We shot it at his stick, right? Like kind of like the Drew Doughty-esque, or there's
shot pass.
Yeah, exactly. And the perfect little tip, right? I'm a Yamo fanboy. I mean, I'm going to think anything he does is perfect, but just, empirically, beautiful tip. Fired it up, tie game, let's go. I think the building felt like, okay, tide is turning. This is where we're just going to start to run away with it. And then they got the lead not long after that, I think.
Well, they answered like I want to say it was next shift.
Yeah, next shift, if not the shift after.
The second shift,
and that was, I don't know if they had pulled Puljujarvi off the top line yet, and they were giving him another shot on the top line, or they had kind of, were bouncing around. But if not, that was the last time we saw Puljujarvi on that line. They go down one way, they're in their end. Some kind of lose the puck. I think Puljujarvi went down, fell. Happens all the time, and then they come back the other way. Not a great goal. You shouldn't see Lemieux. That's the one that he probably, of all, it's Mike Smith played great. That was probably the one he.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of talking about earlier, where Nurse was kind of taking that guy to the net, covering him, but then he kind of dropped to one knee, but he was almost beside Smith. It was just so weird. Smith kind of braced for impact a little bit right as Lemieux was shooting, and it was along the ice. Not a great goal, I don't think. I think that was one those guys would have liked back as well.
And from that point on, I think we maybe saw Puljujarvi get a shift after that.
Yeah, I just looked again. He played under 8 minutes. He played 7:52. I think he played the least out of all the forwards. Cassian, Fogle, Derek Ryan all played more minutes than him, just a couple more minutes. But that's someone that you'd think I called him the next Fernando Pisani, and he I don't know if it was the moment or the style of play that.
And I think also what hurts him is how good those two lines are without him. When you put Yamamoto up on that first line, and then McLeod has been stepping up really good on that second line.
Yeah, with Hyman and Dry. Yeah,
I think that hurts his case too, because it's not like they need him in there. There's a lot of. They play some really solid hockey with him bumped down the lineup like that.
And that was his whole issue when he first came into the league, was he wasn't quite there yet to crack the top six and be a top six finisher. Mm-hmm. But he also doesn't have that style of game. Whereas like McLeod, if you bump McLeod down to the third or fourth line, he has that style of play where he's kind of good anywhere. But Puljujarvi can't. Puljujarvi doesn't really have the style to be a bottom six forward. He doesn't hit. He doesn't do a lot of things that like Cassian as a fourth line winger. I'd way rather have Cassian on my fourth line than Puljujarvi I think he's kind of, hopefully he's not in that weird limbo again. I'd like to see him have some success.
So now
in the playoffs,
going into game 2.
More.
Yeah. I like the sounds of that. And that's us, being just real about it, but we both love him to play. We love Puljujarvi.
I have his jersey on.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a Puljujarvi jersey. I love the guy. But
going into game 2, what do you think we see the starting lineup as?
I think same.
You think same? Go again?
I don't know. I don't know if there's any changes. I don't see Puljujarvi being a healthy scratch.
I don't think they scratch him. I was thinking they bump him down on the third line with Nuge and Fogle, and then go that Yamo on the top line, McLeod on the second line.
Oh, you just mean like simply lines. Yeah, you could probably see that. And if he does start on that top line again, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a short leash. Yeah. I think
that's what I was thinking too.
If he looks a little out of his element, if he can't really hold his own up there. I don't think Woodcroft, as he showed, I don't think he hesitates to move him down. And
which is what I liked in the regular season. He gave him tons of leash. He knows that confidence is an issue with him, and he has to. But in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. All egos, all attitudes go aside. It's all for the team and what is best for him. And I like that he made that move. I hope that Puljujarvi understands that and doesn't lose confidence in that. I mean, it's tough not to. He seems like a pretty emotional kind of guy, like we've seen in the past.
And I think maybe with Woodcroft, I think it'll probably be an off ice conversation with Puljujarvi, and maybe tell him, don't take this personally. This is something that I think. I don't know. I think there might be some conversation somewhere else with Woodcroft. Hopefully there is. I think with Puljujarvi, not saying you need to baby him, but I think you need to manage him a little bit different than
for sure.
Other guys.
And every guy needs to be managed different. And I think that was something that, from what we've heard from guys like Derek Ryan, the way they talk about Woodcroft, is that's a big improvement off of Tippett. Because like if this situation was with Tippett there, I wouldn't expect him to have a nice conversation, but that's just not really his style. And I think with this new age, kind of what the NHL's turned into today, you need a coach that can kind of play that role and be a bit of a, I don't know what the right word is, therapist, isn't it? But you gotta massage people's whatever they need.
I think a coach has turned into a team player manager.
Yeah,
or I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd call it. But yeah, I think
because you have your assistants, they run power play. It's almost like getting towards the NFL. You got an offensive coordinator, defense coordinator type thing, so that was the third goal. Still second period, and they went the rest of the we tied it up. That was I
think Draisaitl tied it up with about 10 halfway through the third.
Yeah, halfway through the third. Yeah, and that was
a kind of a weird one. The pass across.
Yeah,
so hit that broken stick in the middle.
There was a shot from the point that broke. I think it was Iafalo's stick or someone.
Yeah.
So shattered stick. McDavid sees that nice feed. I think they kind of left that lane open because they thought he can't pass it through the stick, and it just happened to get to him. He had all the time in the world. Quick came out super far again.
Yeah,
cut the angle, and Draisaitl still got it past him.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I don't know, there was kind of a D-man coming at Draisaitl from that left where he shot, and I think Quick might have cheated to this side, thinking he won't even be able to get the puck out there to shoot around me on the side because my defense is going to get there, and kind of just left it right in that. There's that tiny little slot for him to get that puck around just tight to the post, and that's exactly where he fired it. Beautiful shot, which was great too. I think he needed to get Draisaitl a little bit. Not that he wasn't in the game, but just that goal for sure. Make sure that he's having an impact. Both McDavid and him get on the score sheet.
Yeah,
that was good. I like to see that. And then you go into the third period, and like you said, it was not great. Smith, I think, until that big blunder, played pretty well and was kind of holding us in it. We were kind of getting dominated. There was a lot of pressure on our end. He was making good saves, kind of keeping us in it. The crowd was getting electric for every save he was making. But then
there's only so many saves you can make, and then you make
a
boner.
Then you try and fire one right down the middle, which is a tough look. And again, spectacular save to recover from it, but there's just so much chaos after that. Not even a nice goal after that. Just a kind of shot from the point.
Tip from Deneau.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was tipped.
Yeah.
But still, the availability for that, to have that much room at the point to pick your shot, and then that much room to tip with four guys now around the net, that's a bad look.
It was tough.
It's a bad look, and it kind of took a little bit of just to see it wasn't that they scored
the way they scored,
because
it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Exactly, because all night, even those two goals, I followed more to I follow. The crowd didn't lose any momentum. It was still electric. It was still buzzing in there, and that was kind of the only goal where it kind of was a little bit of a lull,
deflating. And because it was so late too. There's 5 minutes left.
But I thought we recovered a little bit. The crowd got back into it. They rode it all the way into the end, and then just kind of.
I thought we were about to see some overtime.
Me too.
I was getting a little excited for that, but
until about a minute left, and then they kind of
dreams.
Yeah, dashed them. But having said that, like we kind of started this with, I still kind of left that game obviously bummed, obviously very drunk, but didn't feel. It wasn't like some of the games in the past in the playoffs where it's that was terrible. That was so bad. I'm depressed for days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't feel that way. I'm pretty positive today even. There's a couple things that could have went our way. But the biggest things that we saw was the jitters and stuff. okay, if that's going to happen, get it out of our system. Perfect. You know, like let's see what we can do in game 2. I think it's going to be a different team.
So what do you think in game 2 needs to change the most, or needs to be the biggest difference in order for them to win game 2? What has to change? What do you need to see? I need
to see a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more settling, kind of like we talked with the jitters. Yeah. I think maybe a little bit of an adjustment in how we run offense in there. And, you know, like with how Quick was playing, of kind of trying to get that last cross feed around and just putting it to an area, you know, causing a little bit. I like the hitting. I thought there could have been more. I'm always going to say there could be more hitting. I just think they feed off that. And almost every time there was a big hit, we'd get about a minute, 2 minutes of good play out of them because it juiced them up in the right way, right? I think you could keep that going. Maybe even some of the bigger boys, right? Like I think, you know, we skipped over something that I thought was really funny. When Draisaitl scored that power play goal, did you see the hack he had?
No.
He put on the back of Durzee's legs right after
Durzee's a shithead, man. You can tell he gets under all of their skin. And I think...
Yeah, you got to be pissed off to just score on the power play. And before you go into cellar, you give him a chop on the back of the ankles. And a hard chop, too. It was awesome. I kind of liked it. I mean, a bad sign if, you know, that's not a good sign if someone's in your head.
I noticed that when I watched the game with LA a few weeks ago in the regular season, Durze seemed to piss everybody off. Yeah. Every time there was a scrum, it was 2 guys on Durze. Like, I don't know what he does such a little shit behind the play. He's a little bit like Dowdy. Like he just is a kind of that little dirty little shit that pisses everyone off. And that's not a good sign. Like you said, you can't have one guy under all your skin that hard.
One guy, I feel like I'm trying to ask. I'm going to ask you this question because I can't answer it myself because I feel like I didn't notice it enough. What did you think of Hyman last night?
Derek Hyman had fairly. I don't know. I thought he was solid. I think he had a couple times in the offensive zone where he kind of wheels around but he didn't do anything great. Didn't do anything too bad. He just. Yeah,
he rarely makes big mistakes.
I thought he was solid. I don't have any qualms about his game. I don't have any. I don't have any big praises to give him either. So
and I think maybe he could be one of those guys that's going to be a difference in game 2. Not that he played bad, but like we know he has a high ceiling. He can have one of those games where he's really, really, stomping all over guys and being that guy that's getting in front of pucks, digging hard, recovering, stripping guys. I think that is something we can expect from him. I thought Yamo played really good. You know, I always think that.
That's always
got that tip, and but there's some questions going into it of how is he going to use that size in this playoff game. I didn't think he was.
No, he didn't seem too concerned.
Seemed solid. Solid all game. I really like to see that. I think that bodes well, especially going up on that top line and seeming to play pretty good, especially a tough matchup, right? You're either against Dano or Kopi. Yeah, like that's a tough look for a 20-year-old guy that's 5 foot nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's a tough look, and he really rose to the occasion. I thought that was good. What do you think needs to biggest changes going into game 2?
I think, like you said, I think just managing your emotions a little bit. I think and I think that game 1 was good for them. I think now they'll be able to. Today they're probably at practice team meeting. They'll say, okay, now we know what it's going to fucking be like in here. It's going to be blowing the roof off the place early. We need to. I think they almost need to play it as a road game. Like you need to simplify things early. Yeah. Can't try and do too much.
Yeah, settle in.
And then I think with Quick, the Oilers get so many chances off the rush. That's kind of like their. And off the rush, that's when Quick has the opportunity to come out and cut off so many angles. So I think they need to maybe establish a bit more of a cycle, forecheck, get pucks to the net in situations where Quick doesn't have the ability to come out, get him in some scrambly situations where he starts bouncing around. I think they need to get pucks in deep.
Get pucks deep, baby.
Pucks deep. Establish a bit more of a forecheck. I don't think there was many shifts where Hyman and Yamo were forechecking and LA couldn't get it out. I think they made it a little bit too easy for LA to get out of their zone.
Right.
I don't know if it was Edler seemed pretty fucking smooth last night. He still got it a few years ago, and he's
big, hey?
Very
I remember
big,
last night we were both kind of saying in a warm up, man, Edler's bigger than I remembered. He grow.
He's long, he's a good skater.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Edler's game. I thought Durze again had a good game. They just, like I said, they got out of their zone a little bit too easy last night, and there wasn't if you just get one shot on Quick, that's not how you score on him, because he's a very good first shot goalie. He gets out, he can cut off the angle. So I think you need to create scrambles. You need to create a little chaos in front, get Quick scrambling around, get shots from the point with some guys in front where Quick can't come out 20 feet out of his crease. Like you need to make life a little bit tougher on him, I think.
Yeah. Wouldn't even mind a couple, like this is hard to try to do, but get banging and crashing in front of the net, bump into him, get some scrums, get Kane in there,
take a hard goalie interference call if you have to, like fucking
whatever it is,
storm the gates,
storm the fucking gates, especially a guy like Quick that is really allowed them, like their whole team played good, but if Quick didn't play that, this is kind of what I like to see. Like this is not good, but it inspires confidence for the future. Is LA played good in every area. They checked every box. They were playing way up to there. There was a ton more that Oilers could have given. And if even with that, if Quick didn't stand on his head like he did and played that good, we still would have beat them.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that bodes well for the future, but you gotta get that win. I think game 2 now is.
I think game 2 is big. I don't think you can go to. I don't think you can go to LA down 2-0. And I think you just need to give the crowd something. I think you need to split. I think you need to go to LA 1-1. I think if you go to LA down 2-0, then I don't know. Then it's hard to not come back at least down 3-1. It's going to be tough to go in LA and take both, I think.
For sure.
Especially the way they played on the road. You get them on home ice. I think LA is going to be tough at home too.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Anything else that we want to cover? Do you want to maybe chat a little bit about the other games going on last night?
Other games where I didn't watch any of them.
Yeah, I just watched the highlights.
I haven't even watched the highlights this morning.
I watched
lots of blowouts. Hey, I think Toronto.
I haven't seen the Toronto highlights.
Toronto worked them pretty good. I think they were all over them. They had a
bodes well for
they killed off a 5-minute major at some point in that game. I think they were talking that gave them a lot of momentum. And after they killed that 5-minute
Clifford,
after they killed that 5-minute major, I guess it was all Leafs all day.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to watch the highlights because they're boring jerseys, but
honestly, that was another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I think the Oilers would have won that game last night if they wouldn't have worn those stupid dark blue jerseys.
Come on.
That's what I think. You heard it here first.
Well, they're going to be wearing those all playoffs. So
really?
They never switch jerseys in playoffs, man. That's their threads for sure.
That's so disappointing.
Guaranteed. Yeah. And it's tough to when you get an email saying wear orange. Well,
and then they were
did you not send that to the team? The team missed the memo. But yeah, I don't know.
This comes up with so much shit. If I knew that was the player's decision and they like those jerseys and that's why they were doing it, or they like coming out to that same song all the time, that's why they do it. But I just don't think so. I think it's fucking stupid shitheads within the Edmonton Oilers organization that all want to get their stupid little fingerprints on it. Just like TV producers, it's the worst. It's like, I don't care what you guys want, what you guys think is sick. You guys are idiots. Like
fan vote,
or not. I don't give a fuck with the fans. Player vote. Let them handle this shit, right? Like, because and even if it was like, if I found out that like they're wearing those blue jerseys because that's what the boys like, and I'm all in on it.
I don't know. I think I definitely know with La Bamba. Yeah. That was Joey Moss's favorite song. Mm-hmm. So he would play that in the dressing room when they'd win. Right. So that was, I think, a bit of a player's choice. They want La Bamba as a win song.
Yeah.
Didn't get to hear it last night. I think we'll hear it. We'll hear it twice in this series. I think we'll hear it game 2. I think we'll hear it game 5, and we won't hear it game 7 because they'll win game 6 in LA and go on to second round.
Agreed. I agree with that. I did watch the highlights for the Canes Boston, and I think it was scoreless until the third or like end of the second,
and then it ended up 5-1.
And then it ended up 5-1. Yeah. And
I remember.
The whole time it was Canes domination, kind of like. From what I saw, the highlights that I watched, I just watched on YouTube those 10-minute kind of Canes.
Oh, I said Kane domination.
Kane domination. Oh. He played last night for the Canes and the Oilers. And exactly what you said. It doesn't matter who's in net for him. Ranta didn't play bad, but they scored some real nice goals.
I was looking last night. I was 3 for 1 on my 3-1 on my picks, and the Oilers were the only my one loss last night. So looking good for Chase's gang.
Who's it? Okay, Toronto, Tampa, Canes, Boston, Oilers played. Was it Minnesota St. Louis?
Minnesota St. Louis. St. Louis beat them 4-0.
St. Louis beat them 4-0.
Billy Husso got the start.
Right.
Got a shutout. I never saw the highlights. I haven't really looked at that game. But they were talking like Husso had a good game, which I think Husso is probably the best goalie in that series, man. I think he's a sick fucking goalie. I think he's underrated. Yeah.
Sick puppy, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be hearing from FO about the Leafs big W.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I had him on the horn a little bit last night, but I don't really remember what the fuck we talked about, and then I lost him in the underground parking. So we'll see.
That was funny. I think he was hoping that we would fire up the pod last night. I think he wanted to hop on, but yeah. I don't think it was even a sad. We're too sad to record. I think we're just too drunk.
Yeah, we the quality, the content. Yeah. I think this was better too. It kind of gave us a chance to get up in the morning, think about it, watch the highlights, see it on TV.
What I told my mom was that what I thought was, if they would have won, I think we could have done it through the drunkenness, and it would have been just exciting. If you would have heard it, they would have loved it. But I think on a loss, you need time to absorb, digest,
soak it
recover, soak it in. Oh, nice, Remy. Yeah. That toy is shredded.
Yeah,
shredded, brother. Get that fluff everywhere. Make Chase have to clean it up.
Poop it out.
Yeah, eat it. You'll have big fluffy poops. It'll feel good coming out. Yeah. Well, anything else we had to miss? I think we did about 51 minutes. Just kind of a tight little game review.
I think that's solid because we'll probably do another one Thursday. Yeah. Win or loss again. We'll be on there Thursday. So. Stay tuned, and probably we'll do one after the road games. Maybe after the road games we'll do one right after because we'll probably just be watching from home, watching on TV. So
exactly,
it's a good little breakdown. I don't have anything really extra to add. We will we'll see you when the series is 1-1.
Yeah, and spirits are still high. Yeah, we're feeling good about it. I think never in my life have I felt this good coming off an Oilers loss in the playoffs.
Like Mike Smith said to the press, he said, no one's won the cup winning 16 in a row, so like we're gonna lose games. Just because it's the first game doesn't mean it's any bigger of a deal. It's 1-0, first to four, man.
Hell yeah. All right, well you got golf.
Yeah,
I got
playing the first men's night of the night of the year this year. So
what do you think you're gonna shoot? What's your prediction?
69.
I like it. That's a great prediction. Okay, so listen to us after each game. We'll have an episode for you, and then when the first round wraps up, we'll probably do another little post-mortem, if you will, and then a review for round 2.
Yeah.
We'll look at the matchups. You'll get all of our amazing scientific, in-depth analysis from the biggest idiots on the planet. Maybe even bring FO back for that.
The three Musketeers.
Yeah, that's us. That's us. All right. See you, boys.
Bye.
Bye. And girls. Bye. Love you.